Hey, what's going on, everybody? Yuki5 here. I'm here with my Battling Boxer deck profile, post Primal Origins, including all the OCG stuff that's coming in Primal for the Boxer archetype. This does include the OCG exclusives that we won't be getting for who knows how long, and some of the cards that we'll be getting when Primal does come out in TCG around, I think it should be about April. We should get this shit. I don't know. I'm very bad. Yeah, it should be about April, May, I guess. But anyway, this is my boxer deck. I've gone through different changes, and I typically do show replays first, like duels first of the deck, before doing the deck profile. But Deck Pro is, at least for me, is still having some issues with the replays, including some of the new cards. I've yet to try to get new replays of it, seeing if they work, which I will. But I want to go ahead and get the deck profile out to you guys, and then get some replays. But the deck does work. I have tested it. It works fine. There's some card ratios which I'll talk about why I'm running a certain number of said card and why I'm not running said card. And this version is likely to change over time. It's just I'm still sort of testing, but I kind of want to get show y'all kind of my thought process as of now with the deck. But like I said, things are definitely probably going to change. So if you say, oh, if I'm not running a card that you may want to run, I may end up running in the future. But like I said, I'm just testing different things. So anyway, let's get started. First up, we have double Battlin Boxer headgear, triple glass jaw, triple switch hitter, double spar, 2 shadow, 2 bailout, 1 blaster, 1 T-King, double max C. So that's it for the monster lineup. Now, I've made some definite changes from a TCG version, which I will have a TCG version. Do not worry, I will have that version out as well for people who want to see a boxer deck for the TCG. I just wanted to fiddle with OCG as well. But major differences is the fact that lack of Thrasher, lack of Chameleon. Now, the reason for it is because I did test the deck with Thrasher, for one thing, I did. And I tested with the regular 2, then dropped it down to 1, then eventually dropped it all together. Because the deck sort of, in a sense, sets up a little bit more faster than it typically used to do, with only the TCG cards. And it kind of, in my opinion, kind of makes Thrasher a little irrelevant. I'm not saying he's the most, I'm not saying you should never run him. I might end up putting him back in the future, but right now, he's just not really been the most useful card. He's been dead in my hands 9 out of 10 times. Because I've been able just to pretty much, not really spam the field, but allowed me to, but I pretty much always had a monster in the field where I just really couldn't summon a Thrasher. And as for Mass Chameleon, kind of like Thrasher, it just got to the point where I just didn't feel like I really needed Mass Chameleon anymore. Again, this might change in the future as I do more testing, might put it back in the deck as a one-up, but right now it's just, I kind of took it out for more testing purposes. And it's still a really good card. I still love Mass Chameleon. It's still one of my favorite monsters in the entire game just because of how good it is. And very, in my opinion, sort of underrated it is by a lot of people. It's just right now, like, with the new support, I feel like it kind of pushes it aside to where you don't really need it. The T-King doesn't really hurt the deck at all. This is something that I really love using in boxers because T-King just sits there, like, it doesn't hurt you at all. Because the only cards you really be searching with, unless you play Duality, is Rhoda. Now, for my ratios of the new cards, we have 2 Shadow and then the 2 Bailout. I want to talk about Bailout real quick. I'm running 2 Bailout instead of 1 or 3 because 3 is just too clunky and clonky. I don't feel like it's necessary. And I feel like 1 is just not really enough because you don't really see it in your hand that often. And I think 2 is just the perfect magical number for this card. Bailout is just a fantastic card. It does protect you from OTKs via battle damage. And since it's level 4, opens up a lot of nice little plays for the deck. I also have Shadow at 2. Now, Shadow works very well at 3. I tested at 3, I tested at 2. This is a card that I kind of go back and forth on. Do I want it at 3 or do I want it at 2? I just can't make up my mind. So I have it at 2 for right now, but odds are probably bump back up to 3. Shadow opens up a lot of plays for the deck, allowing you to pretty much span the board a little more effectively. Like allowing you to combo off of your boxer exceeds, and allowing you to pretty much abuse their effects. It's a nice way to put your opponent in some nice pressure situations, and it's a really nice card to actually have. And for the 2 Spar, I only like 2 Spar. I never really was a big fan of 3. But Spar has become a lot more better with the new XC79. And with the double headgear, If you're running Lava Chain, you only really need 2 headgears, which is my personal opinion. So for the spells, you have 1 Reinforcement Army, 1 Warrior Returning Alive, Dark Hope, 2 MSTs, 2 Lance, 1 Spirits, 1 Book, and then a Foolish Burial. Now, everything else, these spells, I feel are pretty self-explanatory. I'm running Warrior for more Exceed damage to allow me to return switch here to the hand and not having to reuse them, considering even you now have more Boxer Exceeds you can go into. So Warrior does allow you to have that flexibility in your hand. And pretty much not having the cost of discarding anything to get back a monster. It's pretty much like a 1-for-1 in a sense. Now, I'm only running 1 Battling Box in Spirits because I just like 1. I don't really think it's a good card early game. I think it's more like a late game card, something you top deck and can help you win the game, or possibly put you in a good position to possibly win. No guarantee. It's a really damn good card. I like it a lot, but it's just one of these cards that I just don't really see fit at running more than 1. Just me personally, it never really works out for me at 1, and I see it just enough at 1 to where it will help me win games. And that's all I really need is the 1 Spirit. That's all I ever really need. The rest of the spells are pretty self-explanatory. The Lance to protect your monsters, MSC backward hate, Book is just to basically protect you, and Foolish is for Glass Shot and other shenanigans like the Blaster and all that stuff. For the traps, you have the Solemn Warning, Bombus, Compulse, Torrential, Triple Jolt Counter, Double Mirror Force, Double Chain, and then a Skilled Prisoner. Now, the traps are self-explanatory. Skilled Prisoner is pretty much to take even more of a dump on cards like 101 because that thing is... it annoys no end if you're playing Boxers. Jolt Counter is your best friend in this deck. It is the Infernity Barrier for Boxers, and you should definitely be running it at least 2 or 3. I'm playing at 3 because this card is just amazing at 3 in my opinion, but I would definitely say at least 2. If you're not running at least 2, I don't know why you're running this card then. Well, basically, during the battle phase, when a spell or trap card or a monster effect is activated, if you control a Battling Box monster, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. And it's not like a once per turn type of effect. You can do this multiple times if you have multiple face down. There's a good card to help you protect you from annoying things like Mirror Force, maybe Compulse if they didn't want to do it before you attack, which I don't know why. Great card against beat down the Boojins with their Havakiris and all that shit. Honest, anything like that, just open that gate with Jolt Counter and have a good day. And since it's a counter trap, it can only be stopped by other counter traps, so it makes up for that awesome fact that it's only during the battle phase. Now, I kind of wish it wasn't only during the battle phase, but then it might be a little too good because you have cards down there that can just sit there and just like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Unlike decks like Infernities, where you can easily get rid of the monsters. The monsters aren't going to sit there and protect themselves. You have to protect it with the traps. Whereas things like Legio can protect himself and just sit there, and you have a free Infernity Barrier right then and there. Now, for the main deck, there's one card I'm sure people are probably going to be asking, where is Kaiser Coliseum? Well, to tell you the truth, I don't like main decking that card. Now, I like Kaiser Coliseum, but I prefer it in the side deck. Now, I don't have a side deck because online, I really only do single games because I don't give a shit about testing side. I just want to test, first game, how good your hands are going to be consistent-wise. That's what I want to test. But I prefer Kaiser and the side deck. And this is how I prefer it. Because, one, people are going to expect the Kaiser and the main deck. Not really the side deck for boxers. It's sort of going on a psychological note there. Kind of, you know, oh man, you know, maybe he doesn't play the Kaiser, and you put in the side deck and there you go. It's just how I like to play with that spell card. Now, you can definitely play Kaiser Coliseum in the main deck, it works perfectly fine. But me personally, I prefer it in the side deck. Just how I like Kaiser Coliseum, or I like it in this deck. It's not something I like to main deck. Again, that's just me personally. Now for the extra deck, we do have the Triple E-Joke, Triple 79, 1101, Maestroke, Black Ship, Lava Chain, Direwolf, Gaga Cowboy, Blade Armor Ninja, the Extinction Knight, and then the Abyss Dweller. Now, Lean Joke is self-explanatory because he's just gonna sit there, take hits, and not give a shit about your opponent and laugh in their face. That's what he does. 79 is probably one of my new favorite first-turn plays in the deck. Lead Joke is fun and all. You know, I love my Lead Joke, but 79 is still, it's like definitely my new first-turn play, like my love first-turn play. The fact that you can summon this thing, attach materials to it, it gains attack. When it gets destroyed by your opponent, you get the special summon boxers, so it's really the best of two worlds. The only downside is the fact that 1/1 is a card, so you pretty much want to summon him in defense mode, unless you have things like Phoenix Chain or School Prisoner or Face Down to protect it. That's like one of the biggest weaknesses to 79. But it's a really damn good card, and you gotta love this card. As for the Extinction Knight, I'm not one of these people, don't worry, I'm not one of these people who thinks, oh, Extinction Knight goes in every extra deck. No, Extinction Knight doesn't go in every extra deck. It's a good card, but it's not a staple. The reason I'm playing this deck is because boxers can easily abuse it. Because of the fact that you will, there are times when you will be at a disadvantage with a boxer deck. It's not super spammy happy, it's a slow paced deck. It's a little bit faster now, but it's still slower than a lot of other decks. So you need that Extinction Knight, you need that free nukage with Extinction Knight to help basically kind of clear the board. And Extinction Knight plus the Lead Joke really puts you in a good situation because it allows you to pretty much destroy the field and still have a 3,000 or 3,800 attack power monster on your field to pretty much just sit there and just continue dishing out the damage to your opponent. But everything in the extra deck is, again, I feel is very self-explanatory. I don't know a lot of change in there. I still play that Direwolf because I like that free popping. Even though 1/1 is a fantastic card, Direwolf is still a really good card because of the fact that it just hits anything it really wants to. Mage Stroke is really good in the mirror match. If you're playing boxers, you have to play the Degen and the extra deck because if you play mirror, she's going to be freaking awesome. Put her in defense mode, flip those yokes and face on defense, no protection from anything there. Bitch Dweller, I feel, is self-explanatory with the artifacts running around, as well as... Actually, the only thing that Bitch Dweller is really relevant against is the artifacts. You can also run Steel Stone Roach, which is actually another pretty good card against the Heraldic Rulers and stuff like that. But anyway, all in all, it's a really awesome deck. I like it a lot. And this is my build for the OCG for right now. Like I said, it's possible it could be changed. But I will also, like I said, have a TCG version ready to go possibly soon, maybe next week. I don't know. It depends if I feel like doing on the end, because sometimes I don't feel like doing that stuff. But anyway, give me your thoughts on this deck in the comment section below. And yes, you can leave suggestions for the deck to help make it better. If you have any questions about the deck, why I'm not playing this or why I'm playing that, if I didn't cover it in the video, I will be happy to answer it as soon as I can, as soon as I see it, because sometimes YouTube's slow and doesn't pop up for me until maybe an hour after. So I apologize if I don't get to you right back to you fast, just playing YouTube, because YouTube's being stupid. But anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Boxers are a lot of fun. They have a lot of potential. I think this is basically the push they needed to become an even more greater deck. So anyway, I'll definitely see you guys in the next video.